What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Mental Wellness Live. We might play with that name a little bit, but I am Cameron Lovelace. I am your guy that's helping you, high performers, maintain optimal health and optimal performance by using your mental health, of course. If this is your first time here, this is Mental Wellness Live, where we talk about different topics that can help you focus on your mental so that you can continue to improve your performance and increase the quality of your life. Thanks for tuning in. Shout out to those of y'all who are watching this on the replay after your busy days. Shout out to all of y'all. So, first of all, tap in, drop in the comments how y'all are doing, because here's the thing, and this is the topic of the day. We are halfway through quarter one. I know already we are literally Q1 is about to be gone. If you ain't careful, it's gonna pass you by, and you're gonna be behind already. So this live is dedicated to those of you who have the goals, who actually want to do something in life, who actually want to take it to the next level, who really want to step it up. This live is dedicated to you. For those of you who maybe you haven't gotten off to the quick start that you wanted to, maybe you haven't hit every single goal that you wanted to at this point. And maybe those of you, you might be disappointed in yourself. You might be looking at yourself and you might be tiptoeing into that discouragement, and you might be getting unmotivated. And then you might say, you know what? This is a wash. This quarter is a wash. This month is a wash. So you know what? I'm going to just say wrap it up until April. Right? But the reality of the fact is there is still 8 weeks left in the quarter. I think 7 weeks, 7 to 8 weeks left in this quarter. So that means there's a ton of time and a lot of wiggle room for something big to happen. But it's going to take some intention. And we're going to talk about a little bit of that today. But the point is, don't call this quarter a wrap just because it's flown by. And it has flown by. And what I want you to focus on is really setting the intention. You know what? Okay, I'm ready to make a comeback, right? I'm a real big NBA fan. And it always amazes me when I'm sitting at the game. Shout out to the Grizzlies. I'm sitting at the game. The team will literally be up by like 15, 18, maybe even 20 points, right? And then in a matter of like 3 to 5 minutes, it's a whole swing, and the opposing team is almost all the way caught up. They're within 5 points. And it always amazes me how big a swing that can happen. And it's all about the little things, the intangibles, because oftentimes players like to try to get all the points back at once, but really it takes a play here, a stop here, a play here, a free throw here, and one here, and for the momentum to just swing in your favor, and then all of a sudden you've won the game, right? And that's the kind of mentality that I want you to have in this quarter one. Maybe you've gotten behind. Maybe the opponent, maybe it went up on you. Yeah, maybe they ran up the score. They got 20 quick ones on you, right? But the game's not over yet. The quarter isn't even over yet. So that's the mentality I want you to have coming into this. That's why I put Steph Curry on the thumbnail, because if he's in the game, he can catch up real quick, right? But before we really get into that, to the details, so let's go ahead and get into the how we're gonna make this comeback, Cameron. Like I had a rough 6, 7, 8 weeks, and I feel behind. I'm feeling unmotivated. I'm feeling discouraged. How can I make this comeback? Okay, I'm finna tell you. Let's get into it, all right? But first, before I tell you that, I got to get into a story, because I was having a conversation with my brother yesterday, right? And he was telling me about how, he wanted to, get his fitness right. He wanted to lose maybe 15, 20 pounds, right? But he said that he finds himself, slipping and not making the progress that he should make. And he had the audacity to blame my nephew, his son, right? Because his son, when they're hanging out and they're having a good time, his son will say, "Oh, I want pizza. I want wings. I want potato chips. I want this. And I had to stop and I said, whoa, 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 whoa. That ain't no nephew. That's on you. He said, but man, here's his thing. I'm not gonna not eat pizza. You know what I'm saying? And one of our church members, when we were having this conversation, was actually there. He was like, well, yeah, man, because he obviously he's not gonna eat all of it. He's only as old as he is, so he's not gonna eat the whole pizza. So you got to eat the rest. And I said, I hear you on that. Except, how many slices of pizza is he eating? And he said, I'm eating about 4 slices. See, that's the problem right there. 2 slices, I can understand. But you ain't got to eat them other 2. The other 6 slices all at once. You can say, you know what? I'm going to have these 2 for right now. I'm going to make sure I'm going to put these to the side. And I'm going to have 2 tomorrow. I'm going to have 2 later. Or maybe if I'm going to, if I'm going to have 4 slices, I'm going to make sure I get a real good workout. I'm going to make sure I get enough sleep. I'm going to make sure for the rest of the day, I'm eating something nutritious. You know what I'm saying? You got to take a level of accountability. And so with that, my first point to you is, are you the problem? Let me tell you like that. Am I the problem? Am I the villain? Are you the reason why you haven't hit your goals? I want you to really look in the mirror right now. I want you to look at your phone, look in the mirror, look wherever you can see yourself. And I want you to ask yourself, am I the reason why I haven't hit my particular goal? Am I the reason why I haven't lost the weight? Am I the reason why I haven't made the sales goals? Why I haven't made the conversion goals? Whatever your industry is, am I the reason why that hasn't happened? You see, in psychology, in my world, we call this locus of control. Basically a fancy way of saying looking and focusing on the things that are within your control. I use it in counseling all the time, especially people with anxiety who are worried about things that they cannot control. So I want you to ask yourself, what has been in your locus of control as far as your goals? What part of the pie is your part? Maybe it's not 100% your fault. Okay, cool. What is your percentage? Is it 20%? Is it 30%? Is it 40%? Is it 60%? Is it 80%? What part of that in that process is your fault? What part of it was in your control? What part of this happened on your watch? And furthermore, I want you even to ask yourself, how much effort have you been putting into it? Have you been showing up? In particular, let's say for example, obviously there's 7 days in a week. 5 of those days are usually dedicated to work, right? So percentage wise, 100% will say 5 out of 5 days. 5 out of 5 days, 100%, you've shown up, you've given effort, you've been contacting the people you need to contact. For those of you who are entrepreneurs, you've been following up every lead, you've been sending emails, you've been contacting those clients, you've been returning phone calls, you've been putting in the work from this time to this time, right? That's what 100% looks like. Been doing that 5 out of 5 days. How many of you have really been given 100% over these last 7 to 8 weeks? Okay, let me ask you a follow-up question. Have you been given 90%? Meaning 4 out of 5 days, you've been tangibly, like I've been showing up. Maybe I haven't been able to hit 5 out of 5 days, but I've been given 90%. Cool? Okay, cool. How many of you have been hitting 80%? That means at least 3 days. 3 days you've been giving maximum effort, returning phone calls, following up leads, making sure everything's good, working out like you need. Like you've been giving in 80%, right? 80% you've been giving it. Okay, now I got to ask another one. 70%. How many of you have been given the 70%? How much effort have you really been given towards your goals? Or have you just kind of like passive, like, okay, sometimes I give 100%. And then, on this day, I barely give anything. On this one, I ain't got it. Or are some of you like, you know what? Monday is not really my day. Tuesday is really my first day. I give effort, then Wednesday happened and Thursday happened, Friday, I'm looking at the weekend. You know what? I'm just like, yeah, we'll push it to Monday. And really on Monday, you're not going to do nothing. How much effort have you been given in this first quarter so far? I want to challenge you to really examine yourself, look yourself in the mirror and think about that. For those of you who have the high goals, those of you who have the high aspirations, those of you who really want to hit that certain goal by the end of the year. You really want to achieve that thing that you've been trying to get at for the last couple of years. And you say, 2025 is the year. But have you really been giving your effort? Are you the problem? Yeah, I know I'm grilling y'all right now. It's okay. It's okay. This is the hardest part of today's live. But the reality is, if you don't hold yourself accountable, if you don't take ownership of what your part is, what's in your locus of control, then you're constantly going to be looking at other people. You're constantly going to be overlooking the most vital part of you operating at a high level and you achieving every goal that you're setting out to hit. I need you to look yourself in the mirror right now and really say, you know what? I've only been given 60%. I haven't been doing all that I know that I can do, right? And then some of you are like, you know what? I've been given what I feels like 100%, but maybe it's only been about 80. Realistically, maybe I can give more, and maybe right now I can go harder, right? And so now it's time to really, okay, how do I make the adjustment? How do I go from 70 to 90? How do I go from 90 to 100? How do I go from 80 to 100? How do I go from 100 to 120? How do I turn that up, right? Because I want to achieve the goal. And asking this question kind of reminds me of back in college when me and my peers, I would do it. Obviously, many of my people in my class would do it. But literally, we would try to cram like the week before or days before the test. So let's say, for example, there was a test that covered 4 or 5 chapters, right? Now, mind you, each one of these chapters are probably like 30, 40 pages a piece. So this is like 200-ish pages, 150, 200-ish pages, long pages in a textbook that you really need to review, vocabulary words you need to analyze, concepts that you need to understand, whatever, so on and so forth, whether this is history, whether this is psychology, whether it's sociology, whether it's anthropology. It requires time to really go through the information and really understand it. And so the thing is, if we had been reading when we were going over it in class, so like, for example, if the test is in week 6, if we had taken 1 week to take this chapter, 1 week to do this chapter and this chapter, 1 week to do this chapter and this chapter, and then leading up to it, we're just reviewing the information, that's a lot less pressure. That's a lot less stress on us. Instead, what we want to do, we say, oh, well, you know what, we can wait. Oh, wait, you know what, they can wait. We want to wait until the week of to try to cram all that information into our brain, right? And the thing is, that's what some of you are going to try to do with the rest of this quarter. And I don't want you to do that. I want you to turn up the pace. I want you to maybe, okay, if my goal is to hit, let's say 200 leads in a month, maybe, okay, I'm going to try to get 100 this week and 100 next week. Because here's the thing. I believe that you can always hit your goals without compromising your physical and mental health. There's a ton of people out there that said, you got to make sacrifices. If you really want to be successful, you got to sacrifice this, you got to sacrifice that. I believe that, but I don't believe that you have to compromise your health. physical and mental health. Get what I'm saying? So am I saying I'm saying give up on your goals. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is when you adjust the pace, if we're going to adjust the goal, if we're going to say, you know what, I'm aiming for the 200, but if I'm going to go for that 200, I'm going to have to sacrifice this. So what are the adjustments that I need to make to get that level of pace, right? If I'm saying I want to hit 200 people, if I want to have meetings with 200 people, if I want to make this amount of money, what's the level of production that I need to do, right? What is that level of production going to cost me physically and mentally, emotionally, right? Does that mean I gotta come in earlier? Does that mean I gotta wake up a little bit early? Does that mean I gotta stay a little bit late? Okay, I'm cool. I can live with that. But also with that, what adjustment do I need to make in my health? Do I need to make sure I'm getting to sleep on time? Does that mean I need to stop scrolling on TikTok? Does that mean instead of watching Love is Blind this weekend, maybe that means that I'm going to spend a little bit of time going the extra mile. I'm put for a little bit of effort on the weekend, maybe even a lot more effort on the weekend. So instead of doing this, instead of hanging out, maybe instead of going out on Friday night, maybe instead of going to Thirsty Thursday on Friday, maybe instead of going to happy hour, I'm going to sacrifice this. Maybe instead of going home, I'm going to go to this networking event for those of you who are entrepreneurs. Maybe instead of spending some extra time with my boo thing, shout out to the boo. But here's the thing: if they truly support you, they truly love you, they'll understand the adjustment. Okay, maybe instead of hanging out with them 5 out of 5 nights, maybe I spend time with them 3 out of 5 nights. Or maybe instead of going out to eat, maybe we go focus and go to the gym together, so that we can make sure we're still spending that time together, but I'm still going to make sure I hit my goals. You get what I'm saying? So with the adjustment of the pace, you also have to make sure that you're making the adjustment in your personal health and well-being as well. So if, for example, if you're saying, you know what, I'm going to hit the grind, I'm going to get on my laptop, I'm going to send the email, stuff like that, chances are you need to have yourself a Pomodoro technique type of plan. I'm going in, working for 30 minutes, taking off 15 minutes, back in 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And during those breaks, I need to be doing my mental health exercise. I need to be doing my deep breathing. I need to be, doing my somatic movements. I need to be tapping myself. I need to be doing my diaphragmatic breathing. I need to make sure that my temples are massaged. I need to make sure my neck is good. I need to make sure my posture is right on my breaks, right? Because even those people that are on NASCAR, that are driving the fastest cars, they have to go in for a pit stop, right? And so I'm telling you, if you're going to speed up from 50 miles an hour and try to go to 100 miles an hour, I'm not telling you not to do that. What I am telling you is you have to properly fuel yourself in order to sustain that pace without crashing and burning. Because you will crash and burn if you're saying that you're going to operate and live at that 100 miles per hour, that 120 miles an hour. You have to make sure you're fueled enough to sustain that. You got to make sure that, after 3 days of operating at that level, or scratch that, after 2 weeks of operating at that 120 miles per hour pace, your check engine light is coming on. Your dashboard is lighting up like a Christmas tree, because you're not sleeping right, because you're not eating right, because you're not meditating, because you're not doing your mental health exercises. You hear what I'm saying? So as we adjust the pace, we need to adjust the fuel that contributes to that pace as well. That's my petition. That's my challenge to you as we're going to turn up, as we're going to go into the hitting those goals. So I want you guys to hit those goals. I want you guys to make the comeback, because I want you guys to win in 2025. And I'm going to give you every tools that I can to make sure that you do that. So make sure that you're fueling yourself as you're making your adjustment. Okay? Last thing. Because here's the thing. As the going gets tough, as you turn up to that 100 miles per hour, as you turn up to that 120 miles per hour, as you turn up, you're going to have tough days. Maybe you've had tough days already, but you're going to have tough days. And so to do that, you're going to need to fuel yourself, not just with the mental health exercises, not just with the mental health activities, not just with the physical activities, but also the proper fueling motivation. And so we need things that are going to internally motivate us, and also things that are going to externally motivate us. Okay, y'all ready? I'm gonna give y'all the secret sauce. I usually charge for this, but I'm gonna give this to y'all for free, right? Just because you tuned in. Okay, so the first thing that you can do is when you start in the morning, right? So when your alarm clock goes off, when your phone goes off and it's ringing, okay? First of all, make sure that you get enough sleep. That goes without saying, right? But I want you to strategically set your alarm for about 10 minutes earlier. If you can do 15, that's great. If you can do 20, that's great, right? But in that 10 minutes, when your alarm clock goes off, I want you to turn it off. And then I want you to either sit up in the bed or get yourself in a relaxed position where you can just begin to picture. And I want you to focus on starting your mind, your mood, your emotions in the right space. This is essentially, you know how we plug our phone in and we need to charge up the phone so we can use it all day, every day? You got to do the same for your mind. Our mind I don't want you just to jump into it, because that's going to flood cortisol, and that we don't want that. Nuh-uh. We want the energy to slowly charge up. We want to slowly rise up, right? And so I want you to do this internally. I want you to figure out, okay, what is the best thing for me? I'll give you a couple. All right. So first thing, of course, gratitude. 10 out of 10, I recommend for several different reasons. But I want you to think, okay, you know what? I'm grateful for the roof over my head. Matter of fact, I'll give y'all a real life example. The dog that is at the house behind us was barking up a storm. And I mean barking up a storm. I don't know what the hell it was barking at. I don't know if it was barking at a squirrel. I don't know if it was barking at another dog. I don't know what it was barking at, but it was barking loud, right? And I could only think to myself is that, man, I'm so glad that there's a fence between our house and their house, because I wouldn't want the dog in my yard. I'm so grateful that I'm not, worried about the dog coming into my house. I'm so grateful that I have a roof over my head. I'm so grateful that I have working heater. Looking at your phone and seeing 29 degrees and then realizing that it's about 60, 70 in your house is a beautiful thing. And so starting your day off with what so many things are going good is, of course, going to make you appreciative over what you have, right? And it's also going to be able to shift your mind into perspective. So, for example, saying, you know what, I get to go out and pursue my dreams today. I get to wake up and walk and get something to eat. I don't have to do anything. I get to do this. That's the shift that taking time for your morning to really charge up can do. And so I want you to start your day off. Oh, hold on 1 second. I want you really to really take your time and charge yourself up with that gratitude, with those feelings of joy. Think about the things that you're happy for. Thinking about things that you're grateful for. Thinking about the things that you're looking forward to today. Thinking about, what do I got to do today? And then also, here's another one. I want you to visualize yourself winning. in whatever it is that you do. I want you to visualize yourself working with your customers. I want you to visualize yourself closing deals. I want you to visualize yourself following up on those leads, making the money that you can. I want you to visualize yourself winning. That's what all great ball players do. It works for people in business and corporate America too. Before they hit the game-winning shot, they pictured themselves winning. They pictured themselves scoring the basket, right? And so I want you to visualize yourself winning in the morning before you even look at your phone, before you even look at your emails, before you even see what is going on in the world. I want you to picture yourself winning in whatever arena that you face today, right? Okay? That's internal motivation, internal fuel, okay? Now I need you to picture external, right? I want you now, because here's the thing about what I'm about to say. Sometimes sometimes we can only be motivated by our dreams, and that sometimes is enough. But sometimes we need a special motivation that comes from nightmares, that comes from maybe not achieving the goals. And so in that vein, when you need the external motivation, I want you to picture what would happen to the people that you care about the most. Okay, yeah, I'm going there. I'm going there. What would happen? What's going to happen if you don't achieve what you set out to achieve? Because I personally believe that, God didn't want us to achieve the things that we want to achieve, make all the money that we want to make just for us, right? Because it will change our life, but it's not just for us. Because if the money just goes to you, then it stops with you. He wants to use us and use the money to flow through us, right? Not just to us, but through us to other people. That's a whole nother soapbox. We'll talk about that another day. But I want you to think about who will be directly affected if I don't achieve what I need to, if I don't hit the goals like I need to. Who is going to pay the price? Will your children be able to get the best version of you? Will your spouse have to work harder? Will your spouse have to go back to work? Will your spouse, who's going to pay the price if you don't achieve it? That's what I want you to ask yourself. Sometimes that external motivation, it just flips something in you, right? Who's going to suffer if I have a heart attack? Hello? Who's going to feel the pain if I don't get my emotions together? If I don't learn how to stabilize my anxiety, if I don't learn how to take control and not let depression take control of me? Who's going to suffer if I don't step up to the plate, look myself in the mirror and say, you know what? Today is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Okay? So that's my petition to you on today. And I look forward to hearing from you guys about your first quarter comebacks. Okay? This message has been brought to you by the Turn Your Stress Off mini course. You can check the link down below and get 25% off your course that is going to help you learn the mental health exercises so that you can continue to operate at optimal mental health and productivity. Check it out below, 25% off just for you. That sale is going to last for the rest of the quarter. So looking forward to you guys checking that out. Hold on, did I have any? I don't know if I had any comments. No, I had no comments this time. For those of y'all who are watching on the replay squad, drop the comments below. And, tell me what your goals are. Drop your quarter one goals that you're looking to hit after watching this video. Drop it below. I'm looking forward, and we're going to check in come April, first week of April, or rather closing weeks of March. I want to hear, how are we with the goals? Are we close to hitting those goals? Or did we make a huge jump in the last 7 to 8 weeks? Where are we at? Okay. All right, guys. We're gonna go ahead and lock it in for today. I gotta go cook. So I'm gonna get off with you guys and see y'all next week. Peace.